All right, buddy boy.
What's up?
I
What's
got
up?
you. I got a game for you
A
today.
game. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been trying to find a bunch of games that we could play, whether that's looking up in other videos or things like that. Trying to put them in the anime format.
Mm,
So today's game is going to be the anime $15 game. Do you know what the $15 game is?
never heard of it.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a category or an event. So you're going to go do this event. You're going to have four categories and you have $15 to spend. So think of it like, you got 15 bucks, these two pick two people and the rest are trying to
Oh,
kill you
like
kind of
this look.
thing.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But it's different to where I'm going to give you four different categories. You have $15 to spend in each category and then by the end of it you're going to go do those events with whatever you have and it's just going to be like that's how you're going to try to get through that event.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna write them down. I'm gonna add it up, tell you how much you have left after you spend when you start spending your money. Okay.
Mm,
So your event is you're gonna go fight the demon lord. All right. You're about to go fight the demon lord. Your first category is your weapon. So for $5, you get a holy sword. For $4, you get a bow. For $3, a shovel. For $2, a knife. And for $1, fisticuffs. Your throwing hands. So what are you gonna spend your money on?
I have $15.
You have four different categories. So your
Oh,
categories
I
are
have to save them from
so
each
you have
category to equal 15. Am I choosing the weapon now, or do I list everything at the
yeah,
end?
yeah, yep. Choose your weapon.
But it's hard. What if something comes in later in the ending?
Nah, 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 nah.
You know what? So for the first one, I'm gonna go ahead and spend $3 on that
$3.
shovel because of Killua. All he needs is a shovel to bring to a fight. Now all I need is a shovel to bring to a fight.
You mean
Yeah, yeah,
Karapika?
yeah. Karapika. I always say Killua.
Okay. All right. The next category is teammate, and you've already spent $3. All right. Your
Four
teammate.
dollars.
$5 is Asta, like full Asta, current Asta.
Mm.
$4 Bel Cornell from Is It Wrong? $3 is a C rank mage with water magic. $2 is me, and $1 is by yourself.
Well, you have to choose something because now you gotta either by yourself. Um,
You don't have to.
I'm gonna go. Well, you have to. You have to at least choose yourself for this one. Um, I just got done watching Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon. That shit was pretty fire. I'm gonna go with Bell Cornell because he just does what he needs to do when he need to do it. So, what was that $3
Okay.
for Bell?
$4 for Bell.
Four?
Yep.
Oh,
$4 for Bell.
that's a lot. All right, we had seven.
All right, $7.
What was that? $8 left.
All right, so your next category is your power. So $5 is time magic. So I'm thinking, think of Julius,
Julius.
like from yeah Julius.
Mm,
$4 fire magic. Think of you can anybody with fire magic. You can
yeah.
think of anybody. Doesn't matter. $3 healing magic, but limited. $2 martial arts / swordsmanship. $1 is a C rank adventure stats. You get basic skills.
Hmm. $5 was what again?
Time magic.
Time magic. Shit. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my eggs into the basket. Time magic is way too OP. I have to go ahead and
Oh,
pick that up now. So time
okay.
magic for $5.
All right. So you got $3 left.
$3. Let's do it.
So I'm gonna just tell you five and four, just so you know. So the last category is an isekai item.
Okay.
So $5 is all anime knowledge you have now.
Okay.
$4 is a cell phone with unlimited battery and internet access.
God damn it. Okay. All right. Let me hear three.
$3 is one gun of your choosing with two magazines.
Any type of gun?
Any gun you're choosing with two mags. $2 is an invisibility cloak. However, you only get two uses with 5 minute intervals. Like you can use it for 5 minutes, but it has a 2 minute cooldown
Mm.
between each interval. And then $1 is nothing. You don't get a isekai item.
These these $1 are trash. Like it's nothing
That's
at
the
all.
point.
Oh
It's a
my
dollar
word.
because you could blow a nothing and then get something great.
Yeah.
So it's the gun, invisibility cloak, or nothing.
Hmm. I have a shovel. I got Bell Cornell. I
Yeah,
got time magic.
you do have time magic.
That's very important. I feel like with time magic, I really want that gun.
I really
I
want that
really
gun.
want that gun, and I like it's on the tip of my tongue. I know there's a specific gun I want that has different types of ammunitions. Fuck, what is that show called?
Scar?
There was a show. It
It's an
was
it's an isekai item,
yeah.
like from our world.
Oh like any regular gun from our
Like
world.
you're taking something from our world into this world to fight
Um,
the demon lord.
okay, I'm still gonna take the gun
Okay.
because even with a regular gun with time magic, like I can stop time, shoot that gun,
You ever see and actually
move
you
them in
ever
front of the
see
bullet.
right, you ever see the fucking clips where they're doing VR shit, they stop time and then shoot a million bullets
Hmm.
and then they go all around them and then they restart it and it just
And
like
then it just,
collapses it,
I feel like that's gonna be fucking
shreds them.
OP.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Going with the gun for $3, right?
Okay. Yep, so that's your 15 bucks.
There it
So
is. There it is.
David Henderson with a shovel and a gun and Bell Cornell with time magic is gonna go fight the demon lord. Do you think you have a chance?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
good. That's good. I like that.
Oh
I like that.
yes.
I kind of figured when I wrote down time magic, I'm like, this nigga's gonna choose time
I
magic.
mean, you
But
gotta take time magic.
if he spends all his money at like if you had $10, if you were already at $10 before you got to this category, I was like, would he blow his last $5 on time magic and get nothing in the last category, or would he not choose time magic and
With
get
with
and
Bell, I feel like I wouldn't even need a gun. With
yeah.
time magic and Bell, all I need, only thing I truly need to bring to the fight at this point is the shovel to dig a hole for whoever he's about to fucking body. That's the only thing I'm going to be contributing to the fight at this point. But now I got a gun at least too. That
Yeah.
was pretty fun. I like that one.
You like that game?
Yeah, that
All
was
right,
cool. That was cool.
I'm gonna do some more. I'm trying to find more games for us,
Hmm.
like more because it's kind of hard. I mean, I see other videos where I see like other groups of people. They'll play like anime games or just regular life games, but there'll be like multiple people. There'll be like 3 or 4 people that are playing these games. So I'm trying to find ones that are good for like me and you to play. So if you want to come up with a
Hell yeah, I got
fifteen
you.
dollar game, I'll definitely hop on that.
I
So
just need to get the like the rules of it first, and then I got you.
yeah,
If
I
you had
mean,
like a little story at the end, that was pretty fire.
yeah, it's because it'd be funny if you're just like, so David Henderson with a toothpick, with a toothpick and a scooter with fire magic is gonna go fight the
That's
demon
what you
lord.
need to
Like,
add, like some bullshit items, like a no
that's what
shit toothpick or some
I was trying
tweezers.
to I was trying to think of like some bullshit ones, and then I was like, it's like the hardest category for me to write out was the isekai items because I'm like, what would he really like,
Mm.
and then what would be shitty at like $1 or $2, and I'm like, isekai for $1, like you can't. There's nothing really like your sneak like comfortable pair of shoes, like I don't like you know what I'm saying, like I
Hey,
don't.
maybe.
I mean, right? Like, but then I'm like, well, one, we've already talked about how having all of our knowledge would like put us leagues above anybody
Hmm.
if we were to get isekai. Like just knowing everything about anime, everything about skills
I
would be
wish I
easy. We
had
know
that
about,
anime knowledge.
but
I wish I had
we
that.
know about Julius. We know how Julius can use time magic. So if we had our anime knowledge,
Hmm.
we could use our time magic like Julius and be fucking
Luckily,
lit.
you put it at the end because if I would have had anime knowledge and time magic, it's over. It's over. I'm done. I'm taking
Yeah.
over the world. I'm the next demon
But
lord, to be
then
honest.
we've also seen people with cell phones and like unlimited access to cell phones and
Hmm.
like
In
the
another world, my
internet,
smartphone.
like they on top with cell phones. So, but and I was like, I didn't want to put gun because it's a weapon, but I'm like, that's technically an isekai item, I guess.
Oh
So
yeah.
fuck it, fuck it. But all right, cool. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. All right, here's my there it is. All right. Couldn't find my news for a second. All right, sorry. All right, Otaku Octagon. Welcome back to another beautiful episode
What's
today.
up, family? What's up?
David in his white collar, looking professional.
Hey,
El
hey.
El professional.
I was a working man now.
He's a working man. Go t- go tell him. Go tell him, boss. Ada pappy, boss. Ada pappy. Um, Today we're gonna hop into our news, and then of course, as I promised y'all, I'm gonna bitch some more today. Like everybody loves it when I bitch about things, and I'm here. I'm here to just complain about everything pop culture, especially when it comes down to my own fandom. I'm gonna complain about it because I have the right and I have the ability to do that. So
I think we're gonna name this little section of the show. I want to speak to your manager. That's just gonna be the
yeah,
title of this
yeah,
this little section of the show.
yeah. And then like a year, it's gonna be like I want to speak to your manager, part 85. Just just fucking
Who the
Maui's
fuck
rants.
approved this shit?
Like, oh shit, Maui's rants is on. Let's go fucking look at. I need to be on a news segment for anime shit. Just put me. I know they got the Anime News Network. They need to do like live broadcasts on Anime News Network and just have me on, just like bitching about shit.
Yeah,
Just
give
like
you a little
this.
15-20 minute section.
This show sucks, and here's why. But today I'm going to be talking about a movie. I wanted to talk about this movie for a while, but we had a lot of things in the pipeline for content. So you're getting it now. I know there are a few people that do watch the show who have yet to actually watch this movie. So if you're watching this, just remember spoiler alerts. But trying to think of how much of a Lord of the Rings fan you actually are. You can watch it. Go ahead. It's still Lord of the Rings, I guess.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. All right, but first I'm gonna hop into the news like I always do. I don't have a lot of news, but there's some decent good ones in here for you guys.
All
So
right.
the first one, we talked about it before, but just to remind everybody, and you're gonna have to go back in the previous episodes to find out all the cities that I listed out for this, because I'm not gonna say them again. But the Naruto symphonic, excuse me, sympathetic, the Naruto symphonic experience, the tickets are now on sale. So for those of y'all who like the music in Naruto, they're going to be doing a tour around the United States. I think it's around the world, but they're doing some in the United States where they're going to be playing Naruto music while having like scenes in the background from a projector, like the really nice, orchestra things for Naruto, something that I'd love to go to. But the tickets are on sale now, so go ahead and check those out if you have some in your local area. Um, Gundam G Quux is going to be streaming on Amazon worldwide starting April 9th.
What's
They
that
got
name
a lot.
again?
Quux.
I thought you
It's
just had
called
like a
or
list or
G
something.
no G Quux. That's it's
Quux. Okay.
so it's spelled GQUUUUX, and but it's pronounced
Oh,
G Quux,
G
like the Q
Quux.
is a K. Yeah, G Quux. But in Japan, it actually did really well for a anime and box office. For the first 3 days, it made like $3.8 million. So on the opening weekend, it was number one in the box office that weekend. So for those of y'all who are big Gundam fans like I am, Amazon Prime is going to be streaming that on April 9th. They're going to be streaming that for everybody to watch. Um, I don't know what these are like in every news segment I do. A man in a ninja and a Naruto headband costume in the United States firebombed a Tesla store, causing over $500,000 in damage.
Fireball Jutsu.
Wearing ninja gear, and he said Katon, fireball jutsu. He fireball jutsu to fucking Tesla
Oh boy,
store.
I love that
Um,
film.
40 a 41-year-old man in a Naruto headband, and David will find the picture. I promise you'll see it. He's literally holding a fireball, and you can see the
Oh,
shine.
I'm finding the picture.
Yeah, you are. It's on one of the places where we get our news. It's right there. He's
Okay.
like on the sidewalk in like full ninja garb with the headband. You can see it shining. He has
Mm.
like a Molotov cocktail in his fucking
Does he
hands.
have like the Kakashi mask on to cover his face?
It's like this, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He fireballed Jutsu to fucking Tesla
What
store,
was
so
it?
that's
Did it say
fun.
the city, state?
No, I looked at his mugshot, and as I was looking up the city state, it
Mm.
was when you called me and we started doing our thing, so I
Cause I
couldn't
know
necessarily.
they just had BlurCon last weekend. I didn't even realize. I had thought I was gonna like
Did
step
they?
by for like one day, maybe a Saturday, go by.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, BlurCon was just here last weekend, so I was like,
Um,
maybe he left BlurCon and said, "Hey,
Date
watch this."
Bio. Date Bio. But all right, so this one is for all of our Demon Slayer fans out there. So the global release for the first Demon Slayer movie has been announced for dates for these specific countries. I'm gonna go ahead and list them off for you. So in the United States, we already talked about September 12th
Mm.
is global release for the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie. Canada is the 12th. France is the 17th. Brazil is the 11th. This is all September, by the way.
Mm.
India is the 12th. The UK is the 12th. Mexico is the 11th. The UAE is the 11th. Japan is July 18th, of course, because they hate us over here. Indonesia is August 15th. South Africa is September 12th. And the Philippines is August 20th. So I know we have a couple worldwide viewers looking at the algorithm. So if you're in one of those countries, I think Germany is our highest one that we have people watching us from.
Mm.
If you have, if I didn't really say, I don't, did I say Germany? I don't think I did.
And Indonesia too. See a couple of viewers out there. Shout out.
Yeah, I didn't say Germany. So if you can hop over to France, I mean, y'all invaded them once. Might as well do it again. Sorry. That came out.
It's not
It
too
just,
soon, but it might be a little too early too.
yeah. Look,
What?
for Demon Slayer, go ahead and
Wow.
roll them tanks. I don't know what to
That's
tell you.
see, that's wild to me because you said we're September 12th, right?
Yeah,
Why are there so many other countries? Like maybe it's an American thing. I'm not American, but it's like why are we not second at least? At
because
least
like
second in
we are the
line.
second. So we and us in Japan
Mm,
are constantly fighting for the top anime selling company or country in the world.
yeah,
So the fact that I understand Japan is going to release, they created it,
of course.
cool, whatever. But we pay you more than anybody else. I mean, I'm not trying to
Mexico's
get
getting
it.
it a day earlier than us. How is that
I'm not
possible?
like I'm not trying to talk about the United Nations here, how much money we give them, but like let's be honest. We should be watching Demon Slayer a lot earlier than September 12th.
We should be getting it
Like,
September. I mean July 15th.
yeah. I don't understand. But those are the dates. So if y'all are close to any of those countries,
Mm-hmm.
be looking for that out there. I'm gonna go to UAE, watch it in United Arab Emirates,
Actually,
Arab Emirates.
I may be on the road traveling during the time. Might be able to catch it earlier.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you can always sail the high seas. You know how that goes. So the next one, I don't know if we talked about this already. I know I talked about Netflix bidding for um, the Resident Evil rights, or Warner Brothers was like bidding for Resident Evil rights
Yeah.
because they did come out with the show that I complained about where people didn't like the show. And this is the one complaint that I had was like, you canceled it because of bitch niggas. I'm sorry, but y'all are bitch niggas. Like, like the
Bitch
show was
niggas.
great.
Bitch niggas.
I don't care. But they have now announced that there is going to be a new reboot of the Resident Evil film in September 18th of 2026. So they are officially now filming a new movie,
Warner Bros.
are starting. But yeah, but Netflix is going to be like the lead on it, which doesn't kind of make sense to me. I think they were bidding for rights for like, because if we know, I know a little bit about like how cinema works and like buying names. So like making the Lord of the Rings show, for example, you have to buy certain rights to make the show, but then you get creative liberties, this and that. Netflix only had a little bit of liberties to make the show, right? To make the Resident Evil show. Now, in order for them to make the movie, which is going to be a reboot movie, you have to make it how the other movie was, which means you need more rights to make another Resident Evil movie because then it becomes canon,
Mm.
right? And if it becomes canon, you need more rights in order to do that. So Netflix was bidding to get more rights to essentially be able to help create this movie. But Warner Brothers is creating it, but Netflix is going to be streaming it, and they're going to have the rights to. It's a whole thing. You know, money is getting this going this way, that way after dark. That's just how shit works out there. So,
Okay.
but they are going to be creating a new reboot movie. The main actor on it, I think I forgot what he plays. He's the guy that plays on the Umbrella Academy, the dude with the really big muscles. I don't really like him as an
Oh, the
actor.
big dude. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
like him as actor either. He seemed a
I
little
don't
boring.
really. Yeah, he seems boring as hell. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes down. It is what it is. I mean, hopefully it's a good movie. The show was good, so we'll see. Last thing I got is Sakamoto Days is getting a live action release in 2026.
That's what's up, man. I'm happy to hear that. Another live action of another show that we never really asked for. Like the first season hasn't even ended yet, and they're talking about a live action.
Hey, but look at it. This is how I looked at this one a little more optimistically than other ones.
Mm.
There's not a really big power system. You don't have to CGI a lot. The dude that they showed on it, I don't know if this is going to be the dude playing it, but they had like a fat dude, a fat Asian dude wearing like the Sakamoto Days outfit. I don't know if this was the dude cosplaying like at his own convenience store, but they showed that as like the dude who's going to be playing. I mean, he looks good for it.
Hmm.
All you need is just martial arts. You don't really need anything else. And
I'm
I
sure
mean,
it's gonna be good. It's just we
yeah.
didn't ask for this. We're like
if we
no one was asking for it.
if I know anything about my Korean joints, like if they just if they get some Korean martial artists on there, it's gonna be good.
Oh, I'm sure it can be fired.
Yeah. So,
Where's that
hey,
Naruto live action that no one asked for either? That's been in the works. There's a solo leveling live action coming down the pipe. Like, come on, man. One Piece did it right. Now
yeah.
everybody else think they can do it too. Relax.
Speaking, speaking, I forgot. I was actually gonna write this down. I forgot. Speaking of solo leveling success has actually contributed to 20 webtoons now getting their own animes. So I was gonna write that down, but the was it animation studio company, whatever it is
Mm.
that is working that worked on solo leveling that also created the webtoons now is getting the funding to make those webtoons into actual anime shows because of solo leveling success.
I'm not
So solo
surprised.
level, yeah. So I mean, we should be getting some decent little one seasoner shows out there if they're tiny little webtoons.
If you love solo leveling, there are so many other manhwas, like
Yeah,
manhwas of that same genre that I would say at least five come to mind that are better than solo leveling, which says a lot. So they plan
yeah.
on animating these.
Mortal
I'm
King was a
on
good
it.
one. I
Hell
think it
yeah.
was Chinese though.
Yeah, that was a dangwa.
Yeah, but still, I mean, still not just a manga, just something else.
Yeah,
But
we don't only
what?
need Japanese mangas turned into animation. Get some
Yeah,
Korean ones, some Chinese ones. Hey, I fuck with it all.
telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. All right, so here, all right, I'm gonna start ranting now. I'm gonna start bitching. So our review is, I mean, those of y'all who've been here long enough, you know me to know that if anything comes out in my fandom, I gotta talk about it. I mean, we haven't talked about Star Wars yet because that'd be a 4-part series, and I don't want to get into it.
Mm.
But the new movie, Lord of the Rings: War for the Rohirrim. All right, a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, which again, like I said, I wanted to talk about this for a while, but again, things were in the pipeline that we had to knock out first. And those of y'all probably have seen it already, but I know some people who haven't. So I'm gonna talk about it today. And yes, I said it's a rant. And yes, I said it's a bitch. But there's some good things about this show. So I'm gonna get into it. Again, spoiler alert for those of y'all who haven't seen the movie. So go ahead and go watch the movie or watch our episode. Put it on mute and go watch the movie while you're watching our episode. Just so we can get the view. Anyways, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Um, so Lord of the Rings, War for the Rohirrim. I am a very, very big, massive Lord of the Rings fan. Most of y'all can't see it, but I have a giant play mat or a giant mouse mat that is literally Middle Earth, like all of Middle Earth, and like Lord of the Rings is a big fandom for me. I was really excited when I heard that they were getting an anime movie that was coming out, and about a month ago, I had some friends over who are really big Lord of the Rings fans, and we all watched it on my couch, and we were all pleasantly disgusted together. So I'm happy about it.
Pleasantly
So,
disgusted.
so start off with Lord of the Rings: War for the Rohirrim. The plot goes as such. Essentially, this is a few thousand years before, or well, I'd say a few hundred years before the events of the Lord of the Rings and the One Ring and all this stuff. And it's taking place in the Kingdom of Rohan. As we know, the Kingdom of Rohan is where Theoden, the king, was in Return of the King and Two Towers, where Snake Tongue, I forgot what his name is, who was working for Saruman, was corrupting him, and he was all gray with white eyes. And then Gandalf the White came in and saved him, and he went back to his youthful ways before he went and died in the war against the Witch King of Angmar. Um, that this is taking place in Rohan with one of the most prolific and profound and arguably the most famous king of Rohan, which is Helm Hammerhand. For those of y'all who don't know, Helm Hammerhand is the guy who perfected war with a hammer, and Helm's Deep is named after. So we all know Helm's Deep, right? The orcs, the big Urukai army war, the toss me, like go ahead and toss me, like don't tell the elf, and he tosses, Gimli over the thing. Yeah,
Mm.
that's Helm's Deep. We all know what Helm's Deep is. So to start this movie off, our protagonist Hera, which is the daughter of King Hammerhand, is set to marry somebody, but we don't necessarily know that that's not really the focus, right? So she's set to marry certain people, and that's kind of we're trying to figure out who she's trying to marry. Hammerhand's trying to tell her to do this, do that. Think of her like what's her name from Brave, the redheaded chick. Like she's tough, bro. She doesn't want to marry a dude.
Mm.
She's like I'm not saying she's gay, but like she doesn't want to marry some like prissy prince. She wants like some mean dick. She wants somebody who could beat her in a fight.
Side note: did they ever say she wasn't?
No, they didn't.
Remember how it
Um,
ends? Just saying.
Yeah, true and real. But all I'm saying. So we're trying to figure that out. Whilst this is happening, they're having a giant feast in the Great Hall where there's other kings, other dukes, other people that are in there with their families and their sons in order to get her hand, in order to win her hand or impress her or whatever it is. Um, a bunch of words are said, slights happen, and the king and the I forgot what his name is, like the dad of so our antagonist is Wolf. He's the son of another duke or another lord.
Mm.
Some bad things are said. King Hammerhand and Wolf's dad, Wolf's father, get into a verbal altercation. Whilst Wolf is like, I'm gonna fight these niggas, and Hammerhand's son is like, no, or Hammerhead's son's like, no, I'm gonna fight the big blonde dude who was super dope in the entire fucking movie, by the way, until he died like an idiot. Was like, I'm gonna fight, and then Hammerhead said, no, nobody's gonna fight. Like everything's calm. Get the fuck out of my kingdom. Wolf's dad said, no, fuck you. So they're like, all right, then we're gonna fight. We're gonna fisticuff. Like we're gonna throw hands, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Mm.
Well, Hammerhand punches him one time
One
and
time.
fucking he one shots him and kills him. Right?
He
He
literally is the
fucking
reason one shot was created in history.
mm, the OG One Punch Man.
Mink.
Like,
Ooh, I
well, the
thought you
way
were
he was
stronger.
the way Hammerhand was fighting in the end of the show, in the end of the movie, I can see why he one shot him and fucking died, to be honest. But so fights him. Wolf's dad dies. Wolf obviously swears revenge. He swears revenge against the kingdom of Rohan, against Helm Hammerhand, pretty much everybody. He swears revenge against them. A little bit of time pass. Our girl Hera is riding horses with her brothers. With I think she was also with the one dude who was the not adopted son, but like loved her, but was kind of a servant to Hammerhand. But he loved her, but he was more like a servant. And she ends up getting kidnapped. She ends up getting kidnapped by, guess who? Motherfucking Wolf. Not to mention her and Wolf have grown up together. They were kids together, they fought together, or they fought like each other as kids. They grew up, they knew each other since they were at least like 5 years old. And so that's like her friend, and she's like, please don't swear revenge. Like let's all, relax, so on and so forth. Well, Wolf kidnaps her, her men kidnap her, bring her to the damn Rapunzel Tower, and is like, talking to Wolf, you can't do this. He's my father. We were friends. We knew each other. He's like, fuck you and your daddy. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill all of them, and then I'm gonna kill you, and then so on and so forth. Well, Wolf ends up gathering together an army of pretty much badland creatures. Think of like a bunch of mercenaries and just ununiformed warriors. They're not Rohan. They're not Gundor. They don't have nice outfits and shit. They're all mercenaries and just all around bad individuals. Ends up laying siege to the kingdom of Rohan. Well, as they're laying siege, people are fighting, people are dying. Rohan is getting like watered down. Well, one of the kings or one of the lords that promised to defend Rohan with Hammerhand actually ended up betraying him on to Wolf's side. And as they're riding out to the field to ride out to battle, the person who was supposed to be on their east flank, I believe, who was that lord, he took his army and turned them around on Hammerhand's people, and they ended up getting fucked up. Like the Rohan army got absolutely decimated. They ended up having them fall back to Rohan to defend the keep, and then as this is all going on, Hera ends up escaping from the place. I don't know if it was Dol Guldur, but she was in some old orc like torn down ruined city or whatever. But she ends up escaping, ends up going all the way back to Rohan to help her family, help save them. But like, bitch, you ain't gonna do shit at least at this point. Like it's over and done. We get Hammerhand's son doing some amazing footwork, fucking niggas up left and right. War's going on. They're all retreating though. They got the women and the kids out across the mountain pass. Everything's calm. Um, fucking fucking Hammerhead's son ends up, I think he kills an ogre or no, an elephant. He kills an Oliphant, kills it. It fucking hits the ground, and he stands on top of it like, yeah, I'm the best, nigga. We the best. And then arrow to the throat. And I'm like, this fucking dumb ass. You're in the middle of retreating in a war, and there's somebody like one of the mercenaries, or no, Wolf is standing not even 200 meters from you, and you can see him. And you like, nigga, we can see you. Like, you can see all of them. And he's like, yeah, let's get it. Like, mm. And Hammerhand's like, get the fuck down. And Hera's like, bro, no, get down. And he's like, yeah, yeah. And he just arrow to the throat. Nigga's dead. And I'm like, golly, what? And so as they're all retreating, Hammerhand gets really injured, like seriously injured. And the younger brother, who's really good, he has dual swords, he dual wields katanas, he has a bow and a harp. This motherfucker's just like a jack of all trades, apparently. He ends up getting captured by Wolf because he does a last stand. He does a little Jon Snow thing without the army following behind him. He says, I'm gonna hold him off. Like, yeah, okay, sure, idiot.
Okay.
Sure, buddy. And gets his ass captured. And then Hera is running off with her dad and with the rest of the kingdom that's left of Rohan. Rohan gets burnt to the ground, essentially. And they make their way to, guess what? Helm's Deep. But at this point, it's not called Helm's Deep right now. I forgot exactly what it's called. I think it's just the Keep, I think is what they call it. Pretty much the last refuge. So Helm's Deep is essentially the last refuge for wayward armies. So Helm's Deep isn't necessarily owned by anybody, just some quick Lord of the Rings knowledge. Helm's Deep isn't owned by anybody. It's supposed to be a refuge for armies that are on the run, but it's implied good armies. So like if somebody's laying siege to you or you need to get women and kids out, you take them to Helm's Deep because Helm's Deep has never been breached ever until the movies, obviously. But Helm's Deep has never been breached. So as they're going into Helm's Deep, they're climbing up the rocks, so on and so forth. Wolf and a few of his fucking hooligans show up, and they have old boy, the younger brother, pretty much there. And he's like, the Hammerhand's like, hey, look, you beat me. You got my kingdom. You can have it. You can even have me. Just let my son go. He's my last son. Please let him go. So on and so forth. And even Wolf's second in command is like, yo, that's a good deal. Like, nigga, we're good. That's a good deal. Take it. And Wolf's like, slices his throat, pretty much cuts his head off. And he's like, nah, nigga, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I don't care. And he's like, we can't breach Helm's Deep. Nobody has breached Helm's Deep. What do you think we're going to do? Half of our forces are gone. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. We're
do it.
I'm here to die. I don't think you understand. You're going to die with me. Like, actually, it reminds me of that TikTok clip where it's like the two black dudes are sitting there and he's talking to, for how he was talking. He's talking to somebody. He's like, yeah, my niggas will slide for me. And the dude's in the back like, yeah. He's like, my niggas will die. And he's like, huh?
No.
He's like, yeah, if I tell him to strap up and slide on a nigga, he'll die right then and there. And he's like, whoa, nigga.
Who's your nigga? I don't. Is he in a room with us?
But that's pretty much how Wolf was. He was like, my niggas are gonna die on this hill, and they're like, pause, no, we're not. Like, what? That's crazy. And so they end up going out. setting up a siege camp outside of Helm's Deep, and Hammerhand and them are now resting, recuperating, licking their wounds in Helm's Deep. Whilst this is all going on, Hera's on her little adventure to like walk around and find some shit. You know, not to mention, I kind of skipped this, but in the beginning, before the whole show started, she was trying to make friends with this fucking eagle. One of the eagles, I forgot exactly what they're called, but they're the giant eagles in the universe.
Yeah, from the movie.
Um, yeah, from the movies. They've been preferent for years. They're like one of the most oldest living creatures on the planet. But so they're in Helm's Deep. Hera is on her little excursion to like, you know, walk around and like find things. She meets this old bitch that lives in Helm's Deep for some reason.
Mm.
And, you know, she's talking to her maid, and she's talking to her handmaiden, and she's also talking to the old lady, and she finds this like wedding dress, and she's like, I wouldn't touch that. It had consumption on it. Like somebody, they were sick. Every time somebody wear this dress, they die, and like all this other kind of shit. And you know, they call this the ghost lady or something. I don't know, it's the ghost bride or some shit. I don't know, something woman empowering. You know, like I'm gonna take this dress over and prove you wrong kind of deal. Um, she ends up going back to her father, and her father ends up is gone, and then we start getting we get the most gangster scene in this entire movie that we've ever gotten. And she's like, where's my dad, where's my dad? They end up finding out like amongst the enemy army, Wolf's army, they're like, there's a demon out there, there's a demon out there that's killing us, like he's just killing us. She's like, no, Hammerhead's dead, and I wounded him mortally. He wouldn't, even if he was alive, he wouldn't be able to move. They're like, no, he's a demon, he's possessed, he's this. They're like that's not true. Let's go find this nigga, because that's not true. And if it's somebody impersonating him, we would kill him easily, you know. And then Hera goes out to find her dad. She finds the secret passage. She slides down out into the ice, and then as she's there, she hears a rumbling and a gurgling and some like loud roaring, and a frost giant comes out. Frost giant is pretty much, think of an ogre, but in the snow, like a giant ogre. And then Hammerhand comes out and beats the bricks off of this fucking ogre, hand to hand combat, like jumping and flying and whooping this ogre's ass. And of course, Hera is the one that ends up killing it, but whatever. You know, even though Hammerhand was putting in the work on this nigga, but she's the protagonist, so of course she has to kill it, you know, with, you know, luck, I guess, but it is what it is. And we end up finding out that he's been out there fucking the army up, like what, like in the mist, like disappearing in the mist and disappearing in like the shadows, and just like killing, like snatching niggas and killing them, snatching them and killing them, snatching them and killing them. And then Hammerhand, and then we get the dumbest scene in the entire movie, the absolute dumbest scene. So as they're coming back to Helm's Deep with Hammerhand in tow, they go up to the gates. We all know that long passage where Gimli's like to Aragon, toss me, where all the Uruk-hai are, and it's like that thin bridge that goes up to the front doors of Helm's Deep.
Mm.
Well, they're running up that as Wolf's army's tracking them up there. They end up going up to the door. It's stuck, of course. And so Hammerhand pulls the door open just enough for Hera to get through. And they're helping him on the other side. And as they do it, he's like, I'm going to go hold them off. And it's like, nigga, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. And then, not to mention just that, one, you have multiple people on the other side that could have pulled the door open. You pulled it open by yourself. So what do you think like 10 other strong niggas are going to do? They can help you pull the door open and then close it, and then you're good, right? But no. And then, not to mention, they sit there and have a 10-minute long conversation. Like, and the army's still not there. You could have opened the door just enough for him to squeeze. Just come in. And then he closes it.
They're right behind me.
Like, if you're strong enough, who's behind you? Nobody. And if you're strong enough to open it by yourself and close it by yourself, you would have been strong enough to open it 5 more inches. Like, 5 more. And you had niggas on the other side staring at you like, oh no, Hammerhand, no. Like, open the door. Open the door.
I honestly, that was the best part. It was the best part because it was a self-sacrifice that was so unneeded just to drive home. She is the protagonist of the story.
Oh shit, we actually made Hammerhand look too badass. We need him to die.
Nah,
like
they did that when she had to deliver the final killing blow. That was the movie saying, Nah, you
Yeah.
enjoying that too much. Nah.
Yeah, no, stop it right now. But they had a 10-minute long conversation, and then he closed the door, turns around, ends up beating the fuck out of this army, don't get me wrong, and then dies on his feet.
Mm.
Like, kills them all, but then he dies standing with his arm, like, plus ultra, like fucking
All
All
Might.
Might, with the hammer in his hand.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. And then, like,
He died a warrior's death.
yeah.
No one can ask for
Anyways,
more.
and then Hera obviously gets the grand idea to go back and retake Rohan. And so as she goes, and I'm gonna wave top the last of this because after that I kind of checked out on this movie. I watched it, but I checked out because I was like, that was just fucking retarded. Well, after that, she goes back in the bridesmaid's dress and goes back to fight Wolf on the property or on in Rohan, and gets the army to come support her. The rest of the people that are left to support her gets them to help. The handmaiden, she can fight, by the way. She got hands.
Mm-hmm.
She comes back and in the wedding dress, and Wolf's like, "Bitch, I'm not marrying you. I don't know why you're wearing that," which is the funniest line in that whole movie. And she's like, "I'm not here. I'm married myself. I'm married to the sword. I'm married to the to war." Like, I'm like, what? Like, and it's funny because as we were watching this, he was like, "I'm not marrying you." And I made the joke while we were all sitting there. I was like, "I'm married to death," and she goes, "I'm married to death," and I'm like, "Oh god."
Well, go
Like,
meet that nigga then.
yeah, like right. And then she ends up fighting. And she's like, "Hey, if we fight mano y mano, we run the ones, we 1v1. I win by one, you go away. You leave your army." And he's like, "Deal." And his nigga is like, "Deal. Like I don't want to be here anymore."
Mm-hmm.
And she fights him, gets her ass beat, but then gets a second win, and
Mm-hmm.
then whoops his ass, puts the sword in his face. She's like, "Call him off." And he's like, "Fuck you, bitch. Attack." And he's like, and the dude is standing there. And he's like, "Wolf, nigga, you literally just said deal." And he's like, "I don't fucking care. Attack." And all the people are like looking around, like, "All right," and they just start attacking. Like they just start attacking.
This is
Like, ah,
war. What are you talking about?
yeah. And then they just start fucking niggas up. And I think I'm trying to remember. Um, as they're attacking, they're fighting them off. They're fighting them off. Um, pause real quick. Pause real quick. I gotta say this part extremely accurately. Hold on.
Okay. So that sale that I thought was just for a pre-release kit, they bought a whole booster box, $110 booster box,
Jesus.
and I just made another sale while we were talking.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as they're attacking, Hera's like, you fucking promise, da, 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 da." And she ends up pinning Wolf down with her shield and pretty much cutting this nigga's head off. Like she chokes him with his shield and ends up killing him. She didn't want to kill him, but she's like, "I gotta kill you now." So she kills him, and then his second lieutenant or his first lieutenant, whatever you want to call it, the second in command, like tells all the Dungalings, which is like their name or whatever. He's like, "Yo, pause, stop, time out. We're done. We're
It's
leaving."
over.
And they're all just like, "All right." they like I gotta get home to the
They
wife and
fist
kids
bumping people
anyways.
like, "Hey, good battle, good
Yeah,
battle."
hey, good game, slap ass, like
Dinner at mom's tomorrow.
yeah,
Stop.
your wife and kids doing good. But like, and they're like, "All right," and then she essentially gets Rohan back,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the movie. There's a little bit more afterwards. I mean, there's some there's a little clip that shows Gandalf showing
Mm-hmm.
up or Gandalf in it, pretty much talking about going to Rohan to make relations with them,
Yeah,
which is cool, whatever. But or Gandalf showing up and talking a little bit, and then so on and so forth.
and then wanting to make her the new queen.
Mm-hmm.
The queen
But she doesn't want to be the queen. She decides to leave and go adventure, I guess.
with
Yeah,
her best friend,
and yeah, yeah, yeah,
her
yeah,
BFF.
yeah. And then they talk about Legolas. So a little bit. They say go find this elf who can help you on your journey, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how what's his name told Legolas about Aragon for the Hobbit. But anyways,
So how you
my
feel?
review.
Tell me.
So one, animation was garbage. Animation was absolutely trash. But I mean, it was some of the worst movie animation I've ever seen in my life. I feel like I think this movie would have jumped up. So I'm gonna give you my rating. My rating is an easy 6 out of 10. An easy 6 out of 10. This movie could have been an 8 if they would have done like Castlevania or like Castlevania animation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that adult, The Witcher, for example, like the last Witcher movie, not Sirens, not Sirens, the last Witcher movie or movie that came out before
The
Little
last
Mermaid
one.
3.
Okay,
Yeah,
got you.
before that one. If they would have done that kind of animation, like adult style, like Invincible, for example, right? I think that movie would have easily jumped to like a 7.5 just for that style of fight animation.
Okay.
Because you saw it when the fighting started, shit was blocky. Like when Hammerhand was fighting Wolf's dad, it got blocky real quick. It pulled failed your frames on us, right? And the animation was just absolute garbage. I don't have a problem with female protagonists. I don't. If it's a good movie, a good show, and it's not a bullshit women empowerment thing, I don't care. I don't care if it's a black empowerment thing. I don't care what kind of empowerment you got as long as it sticks to the script and she's already known to be a badass. But in this case, she wasn't. She could fight, but there's no way she was out here bodying people the way that they made her body people. Like, let's be honest. Like, Hammerhand was fucking that ogre up, and then she just so happened to be able to kill it. Wolf, she shouldn't have been able to beat. I know they showed her as a kid beating Wolf, but this nigga's been bred in war since the last time you saw him. Like, he would have fucking killed you. I'm sorry. Like, he would have fucking murdered you and took Rohan for his, but instead he didn't. I like the aspect of Wolf kind of being. I liked Wolf's character and the fact that he was just blinded by revenge and he didn't care about his army. Like, I liked that, these people weren't blindly following him. His lieutenant, it was even smart enough to be like, nigga, what? You've broken 2 deals already. Like, I have honor at least. Like, have some fucking honor. I was half expecting for his lieutenant to kill him himself. Like, I was half expecting for him to chop his head off and be like, hey, we're done. I'm sorry. My bad. We're out. Like, sorry for my comrade, but I liked Wolf's character. Hera, like, this seemed like I don't, what is it? I don't like to use it a lot, but this seemed like a virtue signaling movie to me, like for women. And again, I like Ripley from Aliens. You know what I'm saying? I like strong female characters when it's good. Like even Gal Gadot and fucking Wonder Woman, not 85. 85 was trash. But like just in general, I like strong female characters when the movie presents itself well. Hell, Alice from fucking Resident Evil. We just talked about that in our news. Like strong female character. But they just virtue signaled for her the entire time, gave her skills that she wasn't supposed to have, and just made her the best. Not to mention by the end of it, and I kind of skipped this, they talked about like at the end, they said that's no longer going to be called the Keep, it's going to be called Helm's Deep, in reference to Helm Hammerhand, which is cool. I mean, that is accurate. That's lore accurate. It was named after him. But they kind of teased us a lot in this movie, right? They kind of teased us a lot with Hammerhand. To be fair, I would have preferred more of a movie on Hammerhand's side, like more of a movie focus centric around him because Hera is not a known character in the Lord of the Rings world. In the lore and in canon, she's not known well. It does say in the Silmarillion that Hammerhand does have a daughter named Hera, but she's not a topic of story.
Oh,
They
brother.
do talk about.
Trust
They
me,
do
I'm gonna
talk.
get into it.
They talk about. They talk about the war for the Rohirrim in the Silmarillion, like when they came and fought them. But Hera is not. She doesn't do anything, right? And so the movie is canon in the fact that they got big ticket events right, but everything underneath, under the umbrella, is completely fabrication, like complete fabrication. Now, people might come for me if they watch this, certain people, and say, well, you liked Rings of Power. You're right. I did. But Rings of Power had enough in the umbrella to be canon to where they can add their filler bullshit just to make it a little bit more exciting, to where it makes it a little bit not canon
Mm.
to make it, but it can still work. It still works in the storyline.
It's like a
But
dramatic series.
mhm,
Wow. If I watch this movie, you're expecting to see like some lore accurate, more
yes,
diving into characters of these people from the stories. Wow, that
because you
TV show
can
was meant to just be for
a TV
funsies.
show.
It's supposed to be a
Yeah,
dramatic show of like meeting
it's
families.
based off the book The Fall of Numenor, which is a book that I have. They just made it a drama series. They made
Yeah.
it a TNT series. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all well. But this movie, you expect that the fact that they're animating it, you can do so much with animation, but then you just make a daughter who is unknowable, unrecognizable, the main character when actually Helm Hammerhand was the hero of this story,
Mhm.
and you made it all about her though. And so it was a virtue signaling movie to me. And as somebody, and I said this since day one, you know my phrase. If you are a true fan of a fandom, like you're in a fandom and you're a true fan, you can tell that, I guess, culture that this movie is trash.
Mm.
You should be able to say that something in your fandom is trash. If you think everything is Guns N' Roses and fucking 100% good and right, then you're not, I don't think you're a true fan. You're just blinded by your fandom. And this movie was garbage. Like, this movie was absolute trash. I only gave it the 6 out of 10, one for nostalgia because I got something new from Lord of the Rings,
Mm.
and two because I got to see some of those badass fights, and three, it was a story that we never got to see outside of words on a book. Like, it was a story we got to see. I 100% think this movie should have been centered around Helm Hammerhand, and they should have started the movie earlier than where they started it. Talked about Hammerhand and then ended it with him dying at like Helm's Deep, and like they end up getting the Rohirrim back and shit like that. So, like, that's my person. This is the easy. I'm talking myself down to a 5 already. Like this was mid at best.
Mm.
Like mid at best. It was not a good for something for their one little dip into animation. They fucked it all up. They
Yeah.
fucked it right the fuck up. And most of the internet agrees with me.
I feel you.
So
I feel you.
go ahead. I want to
I'm
hear
gonna be
your as a
honest with
not
you.
a Lord of the Rings fan. Not a Lord of the well, you are, but not like deep.
I'm a shallow fan. Surface deep.
You dabble. You dabble.
Yeah, yeah, I dip and dabble. Um, no, great points. Honestly, this was a lot more controlled than expected. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
so you hit all the points, but it seemed like you were still trying to be nice because you still love Lord of the Rings. First off,
I'm looking at it.
the
Yeah.
animation was bad. There were
Yes.
times where the animation was great, and then
Hmm.
there was time where it was bad. The
It's
reason why
very
the
bad.
animation was the way it was is because they had 30 different studios animating this movie. So
I didn't even know that.
looking into the movie, like, because again, I don't know the lore, and I knew this was like
Hmm.
lore supposed to be lore accurate.
It was
So
supposed to be.
I wanted to look into the movie. 30
Hmm.
different animation studios worked on it, and it looks like it. The
Yeah.
blockiness, the change,
Hmm.
like how one scene can completely change to another scene. It's like they gave everybody, here's
It's
your
like
10 minutes, here's your 10 minutes, just do something with it.
no, the Hammerhand versus the ogre was like a completely different animation for him just punching somebody.
Hmm.
Like, you're telling me you could do that great shit with him, like fist fighting an ogre, and when he punches somebody in the mouth, you make him like a paper mache character. I don't fucking understand. Like, it
Uh,
doesn't make sense to me.
so next, speaking of Hammerhead and his sons, actually, so again, you've already mentioned this story. Now, I'm just you've already reviewed it. I'm not going to review it
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
This story is supposed to be like more lore accurate. That's what people were looking for, and you already said that he was supposed to be the hero of the story. They they diminished his character by a lot. Like
a
there was
lot.
supposed to be a lot more scenes of him actually fighting people. I remember
Hmm.
like the first time he got to fight, he was just fighting like beasts, like orcs and goblins and shit. It's like he's supposed to be at that point, like in the story. Again, I didn't read it, but from what I
They
read,
did a
he was
backstory.
supposed
Yeah.
to go off. This was the
Yeah.
moment he was supposed to be going off, hammers
Yeah.
swinging, bodies
Hmm.
flying. But then we got a small little blurb of, oh, looks like he can really get down with the best of them. Same thing for the Suns. A lot of
Yeah.
people were really hoping, along with Hammerhead, in which you got some good stuff. They were going to
Yeah.
dive deeper into their characters because, like you said, Hera is not a named character from the books. They just
Yeah.
mentioned he has a daughter, and that daughter was
Yeah.
supposed to marry Wolf. They
Yeah.
never say her name, but they mention his son's
Mhm.
name, and then they
Yeah.
die. They get very
Hmm.
little screen time, and
Yep.
then they die. So it's like,
Yep.
what are we doing? So the
Yeah.
whole feeling that you're getting that is like virtual signaling, you're not wrong in feeling that way when they are literally killing off the people who are supposed to be the main characters of this
Yeah.
story just so they can give
They can
Hera shine
uplift
and
the
also
daughter.
her BFF.
Yeah.
Next, Woof. So you didn't say it, but I felt this way and other people felt this way too. Yes, we got the feeling that he was upset the fact that his father got one
Yeah.
shot and
Yeah.
he wanted revenge, but it also gave heavy, like it leaned heavily towards he also felt scarred by the
Yeah.
fact that she turned him down. So
Yeah.
some of his actions from the movie just felt like he was taking that personally, and it was all
Yeah.
about getting revenge, of course, against them, but
Yeah.
also against her. I want
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
to feel pain. I want you to see
Yeah.
your city fall, and then I'll kill
Mhm.
you. It's like,
Yeah.
why did you turn this story into a revenge story because the guy didn't get the girl he wanted?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's a tale as old as time. Like, let's move on.
and
Like,
then and then like how he's defeated. Like he's supposed, like you say, he's supposed to be the top in his. He's the next king of this nation. His father died. He's one of the strongest people out there, and he gets beat by Hera, who I guess she has, like they show like in the beginning that
yeah.
she has swordsmanship. Like she's no slack. Don't get me wrong, but and
No.
she's the daughter of the king of Hammerhead, so you
Yeah.
expect that she has some level of skill. But she had two older brothers,
Yeah.
and they're the ones who were the warriors. While
They trained them more than they trained her. She was not
she was the princess. Let's be real here.
like she did fighting when she was a kid and they showed them stick
Yeah, she
fighting
was a
when they were
tomboy,
kids.
but at
But
the end of the
like
day,
that doesn't equal battle IQ.
she was
Like,
never to be a warrior. But now you
mhm,
got her becoming a warrior, and then let's throw in her BFF coming out of nowhere. Like, is she? I don't know if she's part of the lore. I'm guessing not, but that's just my assumption.
oh,
She comes out of nowhere, and then she's able to fight the army too. She's up there battling with the best of them. So that whole thing, all in all, I my rating of it, because again, I'm not fully deep into the lore of it all, but from what I
yeah.
saw, the animation really killed me. The fact finding out that they just made somebody the main character, the missed
Hmm.
opportunity. That's like I can see it from the perspective of I'm a huge One Piece fan. And you
Yeah.
tell me that, oh, they're about to do a prelude of this major battle that happened on
Yeah.
this island where everything went down that kind of sparked off what we are now seeing the after effects today. And we
Yeah.
go to see that prelude and they want to focus on one minor character from that
Say they
whole
do like
war.
a Joy Boy prelude,
Yeah,
and
but
they
it's
focus
all
it
about his
on the
mom.
female, like the female boat crew member that just joined, and like,
And
bro, what?
it's like we
Yeah.
came for
Or
this information for this
a
character development,
Goldie Roger movie, but they focus it on his shipmate, one
or
of his
focus it
shipmates.
on Ace's mom. Everything's
Yeah.
just through her eyes and how she felt and the events that she was around. Like, no, there's no.
Yeah.
So if that were to happen to me, I know I would be pissed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that happened to, and then I know Lord of the Rings are more hardcore than One Piece fans. I don't know.
We've been
I don't know. One Piece
well
fans
for
are
it's
pretty.
yeah.
They're pretty toxic, but I know there's some
No,
hardcore Lord of the Rings
yes.
fans. So I know they're fuming. So
Yeah.
with the animation, because I'm a big animation guy, and with the
Yeah.
character development, and I know the lost character development, honestly, I'm sitting at a 5 out of 10 with you as well.
Yeah.
I can't say like I can't just compartmentalize and be like, okay, how did I feel about the movie? The movie sucked.
Yeah.
The
It was
movie was
terrible.
just girls
It
get
was
it
terrible.
done. Like there was so many
Yeah.
times where
Girl power.
the kings or the advisors are like, okay, then we should do this, and then she's like, no, actually, we should do this because this is going to happen, and then that happens. It's like, so you're telling me
Yeah.
people who this is their job
Yeah, you
strategic,
know better than
creating
them.
strategies and reading what the enemy's movements. You know better than them to just
She's like,
become the hero of everything. Every
she said,
situation, she's the hero.
I know what Wolf's gonna do. You haven't seen him in a decade. What do you mean you know him? Like, you don't know what
We
he's
used
gonna
to
do.
frolic through the flowers. He said he was going to marry me one day. Like, what are we talking about? This is
Yeah, that,
war. People supposed to be dying. Like, now I
and
know
they're
how you
all
feel
just
about The
like,
Witcher. Like,
she's
what are
like,
we
we're not
doing?
gonna do that. Yeah, right. She's like, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do this. And they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, she's right. She's right, guys. We should do this instead. Like, huh?
So they gave
Why?
a
Why?
no-name character
I'd be like, shut your ass up and
the
sit down.
spotlight and then proceeded to make everyone around them seem dumber than them,
Yeah,
less athletic or less combat
yeah,
ability than them.
yeah.
I think that's an L. So
That's it.
this movie, I guess if you want a compartment, you know nothing about Lord of the Rings,
Still
maybe
bad.
he's a 7,
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
but
if
the
I,
animation kills it.
it's hard for me to think about, like, if I'm talking Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Naruto, the big fandoms I'm in, and for me to not know anything about, it's hard for me to think that way. But even if I did, I still watch anime, and I still would know what good animation looks like. I still
Mm-hmm.
know what a good story looks like. If I knew nothing about Lord of the Rings, I would still think this movie was like, oh, cool. Like, all right,
Like
good.
you're
I'm
not gonna
glad I,
play me. Like even if it's One Piece, and all
yeah,
of a sudden Luffy started making these big decisions, like we should go this way, and they go that way, and everything just turns out perfect. I'm like, bullshit. That's not Luffy.
yeah.
That makes no
That's not
sense.
makes
That
no
movie
fucking.
didn't make sense.
This
Five out
movie
of
should
ten.
have 100% should have been about Helm and his sons, and they should have started the movie like earlier in the time period, and then got to the war for the Rohirrim,
Mm.
because obviously how they did it. I mean, we could have got more from Helm 100%, but like,
They had to give you bare minimum
yeah,
so that they wouldn't
yeah,
overshadow Hera.
yeah. I mean, that's why they killed him right after his big ogre fight. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
nigga's out here snapping necks, and then fist fights a 20-foot tall fucking ogre, frost giant, and then he's just like, I can't open the door another 5 inches. I'm sorry, I love you. Which, to be fair, Hammerhand does die at Helm's Deep.
Mm-hmm.
He does. Like, that's lore accurate. That's why they call it Helm's Deep, from him fighting off an army for them
And
or
saving
whatever.
everyone.
But
But
that
in that
whole door
moment, it was
scene
like
doesn't
it
happen.
was to save her. Like
Yeah,
that scene made me feel like
yeah.
he did this. I'm gonna die for my daughter, which
And
I'm behind it. I'll die for
yeah,
my daughter too.
how they describe it in the books is him, like, he's closing the door as people are on his back and he's elbowing them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. These niggas were like 100 yards away. Like, open the door, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait, he's not even an idiot. The writers, like, oh, let him open the door another 5 fucking inches,
Wouldn't
which
have been
he
able to
could.
talk to his daughter
He
if that
couldn't.
happened, though.
Yeah, he couldn't, obviously, because he's supposed to die at Helm's Deep. But at
Mm.
the end of the day, like, they should have had this army up on his back while he's elbowing them and punching them
It
from
still
behind as
has
he's
to make
closing the
sense.
door.
If it doesn't
Like,
make sense, you're going to see it, and you're going to sit there yelling at your screen. You can just go through the door.
yeah. And then he could, but again, like I said, we couldn't though, because then if he survived, we'd also be like, so now
So now
you
we
have a
just change this.
dumbass movie. Yeah, but I mean, they did, because they made Hammerhand look
Fabricated the whole story.
like nothing. This was literally a fabrication, to its highest point, and they got, like I said, the top events they got right, but
Mm-hmm.
it's everything else underneath that didn't happen. And even, like, I don't remember. I haven't read this book in a while, so, like, I may not necessarily be misquoting, but misremembering some things. But for the War for the Rohirrim, but um, his son, his oldest son, was the most badass
Mm-hmm.
in the tri-state area. Like, he was like, besides Hammerhand himself, he was Batman in Gotham. Like, you couldn't put a finger on him, right? For them to kill him the way that they did, for him to be up on top of the elephant, like, yeah, I'm the best. Yeah, yeah, suck my dick, and then arrow through the throat. I'm like,
Get money.
excuse me, yeah,
Get money.
get money, fuck bitches, get
Oh
money,
my
and
word.
they're just like, no, get down, and he's like, nah, fuck y'all, get money, and then gets an arrow through the throat. I'm like, that's how y'all killed him off. That's how y'all did it,
Yeah,
because
yeah. You
that's
would
not
have
how
to
it's
tell
supposed to happen.
me when you see read it. Is that the way he died in the book too?
I'm almost positive that's not.
But and then it all comes to like, just to wrap it up on my end, the movie ends, and it's like, okay, if I'm to accept this movie, why isn't it in any of the lore? Why isn't it in any of the tales? Like, the tales are sung by barters across
I
the
remember now.
centuries, and the explanation is because of the patriarchy. Can't let a
Haleth,
woman win.
yeah, Haleth, the eldest son of Hammerhand,
Mm-hmm.
I remember now, died defending the doors. So he was at the doors of Rohan, fighting pretty much another Jon Snow Hammerhand moment.
Mm-hmm.
Him versus all of them, fucking niggas up, and that's how he died. He didn't die on top of an elephant going, get money. He wasn't
That
doing
would have
none of
gotten
that.
in the way of the whole door scene. Like, you can't
Yeah.
talk to your daughter while your son dying behind you.
That
That's
that was
weird.
at Helm's. That was at Helm's Deep, though. I'm
Oh,
talking
Helm's
about in
Deep.
Rohan. Before they get to Helm's Deep in Rohan, Haleth dies at the doors of Rohan before
Oh, at the
they're
doors of
in.
Rohan, not at Helm's Deep.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Not Hammerhand dies at Helm's Deep. That's
Yeah.
why it's called Helm's Deep. But Haleth, his son, dies defending Rohan by fighting off the entire army himself. And then he dies he's getting stabbed a bunch of times and like shot in the face with arrows and shit.
He
But
had
like,
a Whitebeard moment. He got stabbed 100 times, shot 20
yeah,
times, and still
I
managed
mean,
to hold the door.
That's how Hammerhand dies or Helm dies. So, but that's essentially he doesn't die on top of an elephant, fucking doing party mixes and spinning tracks.
Done dirty.
So, yeah, so
Dirty.
they did him dirty. Hammerhand was supposed to die at Helm's Deep, but they still kind of did him dirty.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest son, I can't remember the youngest son how he died. That was inconsequential. I mean, he said, "I'm gonna hold him off," but like he's not the one that holds him off. I know that's not how he dies. I can't remember how he exactly dies because they all die.
Mm-hmm.
They do all die, but um, I can't exactly remember how he dies. But he's not the one that stays behind to defend Rohan and get captured. Haleth is, and that's how Haleth dies, and then so on and so forth. But we can't have these badass moments, of course, because girl power. You know what I'm saying? We can't. We
Girls
have to
get it
get
done.
captured. We have to get kicked in the nuts and our heads cut off. While Hera's like, "I'm gonna kill you in a wedding dress." Like,
The wedding dress was
like
just, that was the last straw. It's like, okay,
honestly,
now we're doing too much.
I spit my drink out when she showed up in the wedding dress. He's like, "Bitch, I'm not gonna
Spit
marry
my
you."
drink out.
I was like drinking, and he was like, "I'm not gonna marry you. I don't know why you're wearing that." I was like, I was like,
I'm sorry, I
got
didn't
him.
mean to laugh.
I didn't. Sorry, bitch. What kind of dress is that? But all in all, this movie was trash. It was absolute garbage. I know that they're going to be coming back with the Lord of the Rings series because they have to get into the fall of Numenor.
Hmm.
The last season was so much better than the first season. I know people are still upset about the actual show, the Lord of the Rings show. I'm neither here nor there. We can
Black
have somebody on and
elves.
argue that if you want. It is what it
Mm-mm.
is. But I just hope that if they decide to do another, which they probably won't, because they were probably bullied out of doing another animated movie. But if they do decide to come back with another animated movie, then they need to get fucking Ufold or fucking what's it called? I'll take a Studio Ghibli fucking
Hey,
Lord of the
Ghibli
Rings.
doing their thing.
It look good too. Or fucking what's it called? Who are the people that get beat all the time that make anime that don't get time off? That
Mappa?
Mappa, yeah,
Mappa?
yeah. You get Mappa to animate that junk. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. And it's not even like, and like I said, the animation. If the animation was better, it would have jumped it up a couple points. But it still was advertised as a lore accurate movie,
Hmm.
and it was not lore accurate.
I mean, with
Like you
consistent
can't.
animation, it doesn't even have to be great. With consistent animation, I would at least give it a 7.
Yeah. And I mean, and just to counter the actual show that's out, the Rings of Power show, they didn't advertise it as a lore accurate show.
Mm.
They advertised it as an Amazon exclusive recreation of the events that are told in the Silmarillion.
Mm.
So like, so that tells me that you're gonna have your own little stuff in there, but it's going to be the same events that are going on. But if you were like 100% lore accurate show, then I'd be like, all right, motherfuckers, like you're lying. But they absolutely lied on this movie.
Damn.
100% lied. It was an absolute fabrication and a lie. And I'm glad I didn't spend money to see it in the theater because I was going
Sorry.
to.
Sorry for LOR fans.
I really wish I honestly because I've seen movies like this from big fandoms in theaters, and whenever something doesn't go the way it's supposed to, people in the theaters be pissed. They'd be like, "What the fuck?" You're like, "It's stupid as fuck." I guarantee you,
I
if I'd
see.
have went to the theater, if I'd have went to the theater for Lord of the Rings, no, me, I'd have been sitting there like this.
Hmm? I was over. My bad. Oh shit.
I'm like, she did. You saw that? Some random stranger next to me, I'd be like, she. Oh,
Man, Maui would have been jumping up in his seat. Girls, get it done.
yeah,
Stop
yeah.
playing.
Somebody behind me goes, "Open the door 5 inches, dumbass." Like, fucking let him in. She's in the doorway. He's like, excuse me, you're in my way. I can't get through.
Can't get through.
She's
Why?
like, she's like,
You're in the
no, dad.
way.
No, dad, don't die. And he's like, I'm gonna die if you don't move. Get the fuck out of my way.
Mush her
She's like,
ass in the face.
I can't, dad. I can't move from this spot because you're supposed to die so I can be the hero. Like,
That would have been it.
God, I'd have turned her
Hey,
off
they
in
should have
that
just
moment.
made a comedic at that point.
Yeah,
Just do some funny shit in there. We're doing this for the fans, Dad. You have to die.
yeah,
Like that
you
would have been
have
great.
to. Yeah, where's the power with the power of sugar and spice and everything nice? Just oh god. Anyways, um, I I I don't think. Do I have? Oh, no, I don't. Until I watch something else. That was one of my last rants for a while.
Oh,
I don't think I have anything else to rant about.
I'll
But
give
because I
it
was
2
thinking
weeks.
about upcoming content. Hey, just to wrap this up though, Mark versus Conquest.
I
That's
haven't checked
next
it out yet.
episode, baby.
I
Mark
haven't
versus
checked out the
Conquest.
last episode.
I mean, I haven't. I'm not spoiling anything, but Invincible Wars, which to be fair, this is not going to turn into another rant. They didn't show as much as they do in the comics for the Invincible Wars, because the
I can
Invincible
imagine. It was
Wars,
super short.
yeah, the Invincible Wars was like a lot. Like him fighting all the other Invincibles, and like it was a lot. And then Mark choosing pussy over going out there and fighting, like whatever. But and then, but Mark versus Conquest is a peak, a pinnacle moment in the show because after the Conquest fight, and then what's her name? Alicia? I forgot what her name is. The other chick, the
Baby mom.
fucking yeah, baby mom number one come back
Mm-hmm.
is when after Conquest leaves, that's when she like
Slides in.
no, he slide well, she slides
He
on.
slid in.
No,
Got
she
slid
slides
on.
on. Yeah, Mark gets traumatized for the rest of his life. Anyways, but Invincible's coming up, and I appreciate, and I'm loving it. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking around for one of my long rants. I'm gonna try to find something else to bitch about. I've been watching a lot of Korean movies, and I'm trying to find like good ones and bad ones. So maybe I'll bitch about a Korean movie one of these days. But I watched
Sounds good.
another. Hey, go watch. I know you like Korean zombie shit. Today I watched. I didn't work today. I watched #Alive.
I
I
saw
don't know if
that.
you've seen it. You saw it? Okay, yeah. I saw it for the first time today. It was good. It was pretty good.
You caught it on
Um,
Netflix?
yeah. Because I just look up Korean movies. I try to find all the zombie ones I can so I can say I watched them all.
I watched it
Anything.
live when you told me about Happiness the first time.
Mm,
First time you told me about
yeah,
Happiness,
yeah,
I was looking for it on Netflix. It wasn't there yet, so I watched #Live.
yeah. Anything with Don Lee in it or zombie Korean is on top. Like go look up the actor Don Lee. You probably know who he is because he's from Train to Busan. He's a really big Asian dude that like beats the fuck out of people and knows martial arts.
Mm-hmm. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Don Lee's my favorite Korean actor. He plays in a one movie called The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. Great movie by the way. But anything with them two genres, him in it or that is a great thing. So maybe we'll do a little Korean, little Korean suggestion or one of these days.
Oh yeah, we can do another one.
We'll jump on it. But we appreciate you guys. We love you. Again, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future episodes. We're coming up at the end of our season of anime. I feel like it's gone on forever for some reason. I feel like it's just dragging. Holy shit.
Are we at episode 11? I saw some
10.
stuff.
There's some
10?
that are on 10. Yeah. So we got a couple more weeks, but we're coming up on the end there, wrapping it up. So we'll be doing our seasonal wrap up here in the next few weeks. So go ahead and check out our mid season before that. But we love you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.